Greetings Marines, FiOth here, and today in this modding guide we will be optimizing the Jaipur, the new SMG that became available with Pathogen, a weapon that at first looks like any other SMG, but really it has something very special going for it, and we're gonna analyze it and see if we can make, well, using it worth our while. I will be first explaining how the gun operates because it can be a bit deceiving, and then we'll go into the modding process. First and foremost, this is an SMG and it has the strangest of recoil patterns. I'm just gonna let it rip here. No matter how many times you replicate a full burst like this, it will eventually start going diagonally, as you see here, and the lines of fire become almost parallel to each other. You will have to compensate with some stick or mouse movement downwards to make this thing shoot where you want it to shoot. So since the recoil is so intense and so, let's say, unorganized, you have to forget about firing it over long ranges, and thus investing in its stability is pointless. Okay. What we want to do here is make sure we unload as much lead as possible on the enemy's face to cause as much damage as possible. Okay, let's see how the gun operates now. I don't know if you noticed it whilst using it, but if you shoot like a single little burst, you see 4 holes on the wall. I literally fired just one. I have 35 now in the mag, and now I have 36. This gun is described as a sabot weapon, and every single bullet you shoot splinters into 4 fragments. So the deceiving amount of damage that you see in the number section of the gun is actually 4 times what you see there. Let's take a look. The gun has a damaging profile of 57, that is times 4, like calculating a shotgun. Reload time of 0.88, very nice out of the box. Max ammo of 360, stumble chance of 5%, fire rate of 11.4, magazine capacity of 36, weak point damage of 175%, and handling bonus of 5. Accuracy is 51, stability is 54, and has a pretty deep damage fall off after about 20 meters. How can we capitalize on what this thing does? The first thing we have to realize is that those are 4 fragments, and we can really push this out to fire a lot of bullets really quickly, and then we'll proceed with the reload that's really quick. So the barrage of fire is pretty much non-stop. Stars is stability, accuracy, and handling, 5% each, and then on the 4th one is 2.5% fire rate for every pellet that hits. Stacks 4 times, that is 10%, research on shot. So by laying on them, you keep increasing your fire rate until you extend another shot, and then you restart the process. It's pretty much something that will keep happening automatically whilst you're not even realizing whilst using the weapon. Now the research on shot is kinda strange. Maybe they wanted to say reload, but it might be a typo, it might not be a typo. It doesn't really matter. Let's start with the modification. Small muzzle. I will start using the Pathogen mods now, but I will also offer an alternative from Season 4 and backwards if you haven't gotten them yet. It's really easy to get these mods because they drop pretty much every time you complete a mission, like whatever mission. We want fire rate, okay? So, Recoil Booster from the old school batch, but since this stability will not really help us, this thing is a rocking boat. The new slanted brakes gives you plus 4% fire rate and handling whilst you're shooting the gun. So that will be good to go back into your ADS after you reload, since you will pretty much never stop shooting with this thing. It's a bullet hose. Magazines. There are some interesting choices here because we're looking at medium magazines. Again, the staples will suffice though. You can either go casket, 20% fire rate and 40% max ammo, that is if you do not have a recon, or composite spring magazine for fire rate of 25%, 9% stability of hit, this effect stacks 5 times, blah blah blah. We already talked about stability, so we won't give it too much time, but putting it here gives you a flat 17 bullets per second fire rate, which is very nice. Now for small optics, there are a couple of things to be said. Okay, I wanted to go hybrid because I wanted that 20% weak point damage, and when I first looked at the number, it was kind of perplexing because I wanted to go microdot, but I was like, yeah, 5.7 damage, but that's not true. It's 5.7% damage times 4. It's almost like 6 times 4, 24 damage, and that is per pull of the trigger, per one bullet that will go into 4 splinters. So microdot, accuracy, okay, we want this for the grouping. Effective range, yes please, because the gun suffers a lot over longer distances, and we really aren't losing anything on the fire rate department. Just 1.7 bullets per second down for 10% damage. That's almost 20 damage, almost, but quite close. So this is it. This is the way to mod the Jaipur submachine gun. Better than it looks on paper. It was one of the first guns I used when we were running blind Pathogen on extreme, and it served me well. It's a gun that is easy to use, and it makes itself better by just not firing whenever you see masonry around you. You know, you just have to keep your shots on target, and this thing will perform, and it will perform well. With everything modded, everything in, it will look something like this. Really high rate of fire. Of course, as I said, the recoil is a clusterfuck. No matter what you do, this is what you'll be getting. So don't think too much about stability. Think about recoil compensation, and you'll be fine. It's a good SMG for people who like SMGs. So far we've modded one assault rifle, the Astra, the star of the show that you see on my back. Then we modded the pistol, the Dumbola, and now we're modding this. I'll do my best to grab the last heavy from RNGesus and come to mod it for you, so we can have one of its slot reviewed, modded, and then we'll proceed to cover everything else. I want to give every kind of weapon a fair chance before I just spam one specific category. I don't want to be selfish with my preferences. Although the awful automatic grenade launcher for the demo will have to wait a bit. I'll probably do it last because it sucks donkey testes. Sub, like, share, and hit the notification bell if you want to be notified about uploads and streams. And if you really want to help me, consider Patreon or get a membership on the channel, because it really helps a lot, and streamers have to eat as well. Until next time, be well, stay frosty, and always strive for perfection, Marines. George.